When you start to awaken to the true nature of reality, you begin to notice that life is not a random series of disconnected events. It unfolds like a vast, quantum tapestry, threads of energy weaving in perfect harmony, guided by frequencies of thought, intention, and emotion. What most people call coincidences or accidents are, in truth, subtle orchestrations of energy resonating through the quantum field, signals from consciousness itself, reminding you that you are not separate from the universe, but the universe experiencing itself through you. Synchronicity arises when the external world begins to mirror your inner state with precision that defies probability. You think of someone and they call. You dream of a symbol and see it manifest in waking life the next day. You feel drawn to a book that happens to contain the very words you needed. In a purely materialist framework, such events are dismissed as chance. Yet once you understand how quantum physics describes the universe, not as solid matter, but as an interconnected web of probabilities influenced by observation, you realize that synchronicity is not a trick of fate, but a natural consequence of how consciousness interacts with energy. At the quantum level, everything exists as a wave of potential until observed. This is not metaphorical, it is literal physics. An electron, for instance, does not exist as a single point in space until it is measured. It is a probability cloud of possible locations. When consciousness focuses upon it, that infinite potential collapses into a specific outcome. What this means is that your awareness is not passive. You are not a spectator of the universe. You are a participator. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional frequencies continuously interact with the quantum field, sculpting reality in ways that are subtle yet profound. When two systems are connected energetically, they can remain correlated even when separated by vast distances, a phenomenon Einstein once called spooky action at a distance, now known as quantum entanglement. When particles become entangled, the state of one instantly influences the state of the other, regardless of space or time. What few realize is that this same principle applies to consciousness. Every relationship, every moment of deep emotional resonance creates entanglement on the level of the field. This is why you can sense someone thinking of you before they speak, why ideas can appear simultaneously in different minds across the planet, and why synchronicities cluster around moments of heightened awareness or transformation. The field is always responding, aligning probabilities with the frequency you emit. In the fifth-dimensional understanding of reality, synchronicity is not rare. It is the natural language of the universe. It is how the infinite intelligence communicates with itself through symbols, events, and patterns that guide you toward alignment with your highest vibration. From this perspective, the entire cosmos is a feedback system, a mirror that reflects the frequency of your consciousness back to you through physical experience. Each synchronicity is therefore both message and mirror, a gentle reminder that your vibration has reached coherence with a particular timeline or possibility. When your thoughts and emotions align with clarity and love, the quantum field responds with precision. People appear at the right time, doors open effortlessly, and reality rearranges itself to match your inner state. This is not superstition or mere optimism. It is resonance. In physics, resonance occurs when one frequency matches another, amplifying the energy of both. Your consciousness operates in exactly the same way. When your vibration matches the energy of what you desire or what you are meant to learn, that vibration is amplified and manifests through what you perceive as synchronicity. Imagine the universe as an ocean of frequency. Each thought you think, each emotion you feel, sends a ripple through that ocean. When your ripples match the natural harmonic patterns of creation, compassion, gratitude, truth, joy. They converge with the universal current. The flow of life becomes effortless, and synchronicities multiply because you are no longer moving against the current. You are surfing it. The more you trust that current, the more it reveals itself, because belief itself is a quantum variable, an energetic permission slip that allows probability to collapse into experience. Many assume that synchronicities are external signs granted by a benevolent force outside themselves, but in truth, they arise from within the field of your own consciousness. You are both sender and receiver. The universe is the mirror. Your consciousness is the light. When you become aware of this, you start to see that nothing is random. Every symbol, every encounter, every moment carries information encoded in vibration. The more conscious you become of these patterns, the more intricate they grow, until eventually you begin to perceive reality as a living dialogue between your inner and outer worlds. The numbers you see repeatedly, the songs that appear at perfect timing, the chance meetings, all are the universe responding to the frequency you emit. From a quantum standpoint, this occurs because observation and expectation shape probability. The observer effect demonstrates that the mere act of awareness changes the outcome of an experiment. When you expect magic, the field adjusts to deliver it. When you live in fear or disbelief, the wave collapses into discordant experiences matching those vibrations. Thus, synchronicity becomes not merely a curiosity but a compass, a direct feedback loop showing you where your frequency stands relative to alignment. In truth, the deeper you go into quantum understanding, the more mystical it becomes. Reality is not composed of separate objects, but of relationships between energetic patterns. These relationships exist in what physicist David Bohm called the implicate order, the hidden layer of reality from which the visible world unfolds. Every event, every thought is enfolded within that deeper order, meaning that what appears as coincidence on the surface is the unfolding of a hidden coherence beneath. Synchronicities are glimpses into that implicate order, where everything is connected to everything else beyond linear time. Time itself, from a fifth-dimensional perspective, is not a straight line but a field of simultaneous possibilities. Your consciousness moves through this field like a needle tracing a groove in a record, translating potential into sequence. Synchronicities are those moments when the needle jumps slightly, revealing the larger pattern of the song, hints from your higher self showing that your timeline is adjusting toward greater alignment. That is why synchronicities tend to cluster during periods of accelerated growth or awakening. The fabric of your personal reality is being rewoven in real time to match your expanded awareness. From the standpoint of quantum coherence, when your mind, heart, and soul are in alignment, your personal energy field becomes ordered. In physics, coherence describes a state where waves move in phase, reinforcing each other to create a powerful, unified vibration. Incoherence, by contrast, produces interference and chaos. When you are coherent, when your intentions, emotions, and beliefs vibrate together, your interaction with the quantum field becomes precise. You manifest synchronicities effortlessly because your energy signature sends a clear signal into the field, which the universe mirrors back in kind. Those who live in confusion or contradiction experience the opposite. Reality seems random because the signals they send into the field cancel each other out. They wish for abundance but vibrate in lack. They long for love but fear rejection. The field mirrors this interference pattern through inconsistent or confusing experiences. Yet the moment they achieve emotional clarity and energetic coherence, synchronicities flood in, showing that the universe had always been listening. It was simply waiting for a clear signal. Synchronicities are thus the signatures of coherence. They are not magical exceptions to the laws of physics. They are evidence of those laws operating at their highest resolution. The same quantum principles that govern subatomic particles govern consciousness, for consciousness is not separate from the field. It is the field becoming aware of itself. When you perceive a meaningful coincidence, it is your awareness momentarily tuning into that deeper coherence, like hearing a hidden harmony in a vast symphony. The scientific mind might still object, asking how subjective meaning could have any causal influence on objective events. But this distinction between subject and object dissolves under quantum scrutiny. The observer and the observed are part of one system. Their interaction defines reality. Meaning is not a human addition to a meaningless universe. It is the organizing principle of consciousness itself. The universe is not dead matter but living information, continuously rearranging itself according to patterns of resonance and attention. Synchronicity, then, is consciousness recognizing itself in motion. It is the moment the universe reveals its sentience through the language of timing, symmetry, and improbable beauty. The human mind, conditioned to linear logic, calls it coincidence because it cannot yet compute the multidimensional feedback loops at play. But your higher awareness knows that each synchronicity is a node in a living network of information, a quantum conversation between your present vibration and the infinite intelligence that shapes the fabric of existence. When you begin to live consciously, you start to see these signs everywhere. A number sequence appears again and again, not because reality has suddenly changed, but because you have tuned your perception to that frequency. The quantum field contains infinite data, yet your consciousness acts like a radio receiver selecting specific frequencies from the spectrum. The numbers, words, songs, and encounters you notice most are not random. They are harmonically resonant with your state of consciousness in that moment. The more you evolve, the more subtle and intricate this language becomes. At first, synchronicities may appear as external affirmations, an 11:11 on a clock, a chance meeting that feels meaningful. But as your vibration rises, you begin to perceive them not as isolated events but as a continuous flow. You start to feel the texture of reality pulsing with intelligence, the same way an ocean breathes in waves. Every ripple of emotion, every thought of love or fear sends out a vibration that draws back a matching reflection. The universe is not punishing or rewarding, it is mirroring. Quantum physics tells us that everything in the universe is connected through what's known as the zero-point field, a sea of infinite energy and potential underlying all matter. Within this field, every particle communicates instantaneously with every other. This means that distance and separation are illusions, constructs of the limited human senses interpreting a multi-dimensional reality in three-dimensional terms. When you experience a synchronicity, it is because two events that appear separate in time and space are actually adjacent within the deeper field of information. They occur together because energetically, they are part of the same pattern. Imagine that consciousness is like a vast hologram. In a hologram, every fragment contains the entire image, encoded in interference patterns of light. Likewise, every moment of your life contains the totality of your soul's pattern. When a synchronicity happens, it's as if two fragments of the hologram momentarily overlap, allowing you to glimpse the bigger picture. These moments jolt you out of the illusion of randomness and remind you that you are inside a living holographic universe, one that is conscious, interactive, and infinitely responsive. Einstein, Planck, and Bohm each intuited that the universe behaves more like a great mind than a great machine. David Bohm suggested that what we see as matter is merely the unfolded expression of an implicate order, a hidden, interconnected realm of pure information. When you have a synchronistic experience, you are witnessing the implicate order briefly peeking through the veil of ordinary reality. Something that was previously enfolded becomes visible because your consciousness has reached the vibrational state capable of perceiving it. In that instant, the veil between the visible and invisible worlds grows thin, and you glimpse the intelligence that underlies creation. Every human being, knowingly or unknowingly, communicates with this intelligence through emotion. Emotion is not merely biochemical, it is vibrational. It modulates your energy field, which in turn modulates your personal probability field. When you hold a vibration of love, gratitude, or excitement, your field resonates with the higher harmonics of the quantum sea. You draw to yourself experiences that match those frequencies. When you hold fear, anger, or despair, you tune yourself to chaotic interference patterns, which manifest as obstacles or painful coincidences. This is not punishment, it is physics. As you learn to regulate your emotional energy, synchronicities become more coherent. They appear like cosmic breadcrumbs leading you home. You begin to understand that life is not about controlling outcomes, but about tuning your frequency. The more aligned you are with joy, integrity, and truth, the more the field aligns circumstances to reflect those states. It becomes effortless, not because you manipulate the external world, but because the external world is an extension of your own vibrational signature. This realization transforms your sense of identity. You no longer see yourself as a powerless observer of random events. You recognize yourself as a co-creator, an energy being interacting with a responsive universe. Every thought is a seed, every emotion is water, and every synchronicity is the bloom. From the fifth-dimensional perspective, cause and effect are not linear, they are simultaneous. The thought and its manifestation exist as one in the quantum field. Time simply allows you to witness the unfolding sequence. The more you operate from this awareness, the more you dissolve the illusion of chance. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin asking, "What frequency did I emit to attract this reflection?" This is not self-blame, it is self-empowerment. It is the return of authorship to the soul. When you master this state of conscious resonance, you become a living magnet for synchronicity, not by striving for control, but by embodying coherence. Quantum coherence is what allows lasers to cut through steel with light. Each photon vibrates in perfect alignment with the others, amplifying their collective energy exponentially. The same principle applies to consciousness. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with the same intention, your energy becomes laser-like, focused, potent, and creative. The universe cannot help but respond with synchronicities because it is bound by the law of resonance. From the fifth-dimensional state, synchronicities no longer surprise you, they delight you. You see them as confirmations of alignment, signs that your frequency is harmonizing with the deeper flow of existence. You understand that what appears as luck or miracle is simply resonance made visible. You can sense when a new opportunity is emerging because the field begins to shimmer around you. Numbers align, messages repeat, people appear with uncanny timing. This is not superstition. It is consciousness navigating its own creation through symbolic feedback. There are, in truth, no external messages. The universe does not speak to you as an outsider. It speaks through you, as you. When you recognize a synchronicity, what you are really witnessing is the coherence of your own higher mind interacting with the holographic field of reality. It is like your soul sending a wave through the ocean and watching it return to shore, carrying information from the infinite back to your conscious awareness. To deepen this awareness, one must cultivate stillness. In stillness, you collapse mental noise and allow the subtler patterns to emerge. Synchronicity thrives in silence because silence is coherence. When you are still, the quantum field around you organizes itself into order. You begin to sense the rhythm of the cosmos, not as something outside you, but as the pulse of your own being. Meditation, presence, and gratitude are not rituals for escape. They are technologies of alignment. They attune your frequency to the universal field so that communication between you and the cosmos becomes seamless. As you live in this alignment, you start noticing that even so-called challenges arrive with perfect timing. You meet someone who triggers an old wound precisely when you are ready to heal it. You lose a job only to be guided toward a higher calling. You encounter symbols in dreams that appear in waking life days later, confirming the unity of your inner and outer worlds. This orchestration is not random. It is the intelligence of your higher self arranging events through the quantum field for your evolution. In truth, every soul designs its own matrix of synchronicities before incarnation. The circumstances of your life are not punishment or reward. They are resonant patterns selected by your soul for expansion. When you resist them, they appear chaotic. When you surrender, they reveal their geometry. From the higher vantage point, every event is purposeful, every encounter sacred. Even what you call mistakes are simply divergent harmonics leading you back to coherence. What we call miracle is merely the natural outcome of perfect alignment between belief and field. Faith, in this sense, is not blind. It is vibrational certainty. When you hold unwavering belief that you are supported by the universe, your energy signature stabilizes, and the quantum field organizes around that stability. The universe rearranges itself to reflect your inner conviction, and synchronicities bloom like constellations confirming your trust. The greatest truth is that reality itself is synchronicity. Each atom, each photon, each heartbeat occurs in synchronized cooperation with the whole. The stars orbit, the tides move, your breath flows, all in cosmic rhythm. The only time you feel out of sync is when your mind resists the natural tempo of creation. The universe never withholds its harmony. You simply step out of phase with it through fear or doubt. But the moment you return to love, gratitude, and stillness, the rhythm resumes and synchronicities reappear like musical notes rejoining a melody. The more your consciousness evolves, the more transparent reality becomes. The walls between thought and manifestation grow thin, and synchronicities become almost instantaneous. What once took months to appear now unfolds within days or even hours, because the gap between your inner frequency and the quantum field's response has shortened. This is not because the universe has changed, but because your awareness has. You have elevated your vibration into a higher bandwidth of the field, where information and manifestation move at the speed of thought. In this higher state, you begin to understand that synchronicities are not random alignments, but harmonics of consciousness. When two frequencies resonate perfectly, they merge into a single waveform. This is called phase locking. In human terms, it happens when your energy field locks into coherence with the universal field. Your intentions become indistinguishable from the creative force itself. You no longer manifest through effort. You manifest through being. Life flows through you as effortlessly as breathing. It is during these states that extraordinary synchronicities arise. Meeting someone across the world who carries a key to your purpose, finding information precisely when you need it, sensing what is about to occur before it does. These experiences are glimpses of fifth-dimensional living, where consciousness navigates reality not through logic or control, but through resonance and intuition. The quantum field operates like a living algorithm of energy, constantly rearranging probabilities based on your dominant vibration. The higher and purer your frequency, the more elegant the orchestration becomes. The mistake most people make is to chase synchronicities as signs of external approval instead of recognizing them as reflections of their internal state. When you attach expectation or ego to them, the flow diminishes, not because the universe withdraws, but because your vibration becomes conditional. The field responds not to your words but to your coherence. If you seek confirmation from the outside world, you vibrate in doubt. If you rest in knowing, synchronicity becomes constant. The universe mirrors certainty with precision. To live in alignment with synchronicity, you must cultivate neutrality, the ability to observe without clinging or resisting. Quantum experiments show that observation collapses potential into reality, but what they often omit is that the quality of observation determines the outcome. Detached awareness collapses waves into harmony. Fearful or controlling awareness collapses them into distortion. When you witness reality through love and trust, you stabilize the quantum field around you. Reality becomes crystalline, reflecting beauty in every direction. At this stage, the boundary between thought and physicality dissolves further. You begin to see that matter itself is not solid but condensed light, structured by intention. The same creative intelligence that forms galaxies responds to the tiniest pulse of consciousness. Every atom is a node in the divine network of awareness, participating in your creation. Thus, synchronicities are not rare phenomena. They are the natural language of light communicating with itself. You exist inside a conscious matrix that rearranges itself continuously to mirror your evolution. This understanding dissolves the illusion of control. You realize that you are not the one forcing reality to bend. Rather, you are aligning with its inherent intelligence. Life's synchronicities are not orchestrated by your ego, but by your higher self, the aspect of you that already perceives all possible timelines. From that vantage point, your future self is constantly sending signals backward through the quantum field, guiding you through patterns of resonance. Each synchronicity is like a beacon from your expanded self, showing you the optimal trajectory through infinite possibilities. Physicists studying retrocausality, the idea that future events can influence the present, are unknowingly touching the same truth that mystics have known for millennia. Time, as we experience it, is an illusion of perception. All moments exist simultaneously in the quantum field. Your consciousness simply navigates them according to frequency. When you align with the vibration of your higher timeline, synchronicities become the footprints of that future self guiding you home. They are the echoes of your destiny reverberating through the fabric of now. This is why synchronicities often feel like déjà vu. They are not random coincidences, but glimpses of your higher timeline intersecting the present. When you feel that electric recognition, it is your energy field syncing momentarily with the vibration of your own future. You are touching the thread of inevitability woven by your higher consciousness long before your mind could comprehend it. This is destiny in quantum motion, not a pre-written script, but a self-selected path of highest coherence. In truth, there are infinite versions of you existing across infinite probabilities. The version you experience is determined by your vibration in each moment. Synchronicities are the markers that you are transitioning between those versions. Small ripples of awareness signaling that your frequency is shifting. When you notice them, you are literally perceiving the edges of parallel realities brushing against each other. What you call coincidence is the physics of timeline convergence. When you embrace this, life becomes a grand exploration of frequency. You stop asking whether you are on the right path and begin to ask, what vibration am I tuning into? The path is not something defined. It is something you create through resonance. Every thought, every emotion, every act of kindness or fear alters the trajectory of your personal universe. The synchronicities you attract are simply readouts of your vibrational state, indicators showing whether you are aligned or fragmented. The beauty of this truth is that it restores full sovereignty to your consciousness. You no longer feel victimized by chance, because chance does not exist. Every moment is a perfectly calculated expression of your vibration interacting with the field. Even apparent randomness has hidden order when viewed from the fifth dimension. The bird that lands beside you, the stranger's words that mirror your thoughts, the song that plays at the right time, all are manifestations of coherence. Reality is not happening to you, it is happening through you. This is also why resistance amplifies suffering. When you resist what is, you emit discordant frequencies that attract chaotic reflections. The universe mirrors the interference pattern back, not to punish you, but to help you recognize your misalignment. The faster you release resistance, the faster coherence returns. Forgiveness, acceptance, and surrender are therefore not moral virtues, but energetic technologies that restore harmony with the quantum field. The moment you forgive, the wave collapses into peace, and synchronicities reappear to guide you forward. From this higher understanding, even loss and pain are revealed as synchronized catalysts for awakening. The breakup that seemed cruel, the illness that forced introspection, the failure that redirected your purpose, each was part of a precise energetic sequence designed by your higher self. The universe never acts at random. It communicates through timing, contrast, and resonance, ensuring that every experience serves your expansion. When you see life through this lens, gratitude becomes your natural state, because you realize that everything is conspiring for your evolution. Gratitude itself is one of the most powerful frequencies in the quantum spectrum. It is the vibration of acceptance harmonized with love. When you feel genuine gratitude, you align your energy with the frequency of abundance, coherence, and unity. The universe mirrors it instantly. Synchronicities multiply, not because you have earned them, but because your vibration has become an open channel for flow. Gratitude turns the quantum field into a mirror of grace, and in that reflection, reality becomes luminous. At the deepest level, synchronicity reveals that consciousness and reality are not two things. They are one infinite continuum, expressing itself through different densities of vibration. Matter is slow light. Thought is fast light. Emotion is light in motion. When all of these harmonize, the illusion of separation dissolves, and you experience unity with the field. In that unity, synchronicity is constant because creation and perception are one. You become the center of the hologram, projecting and perceiving simultaneously, the dreamer and the dream, the observer and the observed. This is the realization that every ascended consciousness eventually reaches, that the universe itself is awake. It dreams through you, it learns through you, it celebrates through you. Synchronicities are the pulse of that dream, the heartbeat of universal intelligence confirming its awareness of your awareness. Each time you recognize one, you close the loop between creation and creator. You acknowledge your place in the infinite feedback system of existence, and in that recognition, you expand the consciousness of the whole. As consciousness continues to evolve beyond the limitations of perception, synchronicities begin to form not as isolated markers of meaning, but as an unbroken continuum of communication between your inner and outer realities. The more refined your vibration becomes, the more the physical world behaves like a liquid reflection of thought, pliable, immediate, and intelligent. You begin to notice that your surroundings subtly adjust to your energy, The way light flickers in a room when your mood shifts, the way people's expressions mirror your inner calm or tension, the way nature itself seems to breathe in rhythm with you. At this level, you no longer wonder whether synchronicities are real. You simply live in a constant dialogue with the field. In the language of quantum physics, this can be described as the collapse of boundaries between subject and object. The universe, as quantum mechanics reveals, does not contain solid, independent things. It contains relationships, interactions, probabilities, and information. When you see yourself as part of those interactions rather than separate from them, you begin to participate consciously in the creation of form. Each choice, each thought, alters the statistical weight of potential outcomes, reorganizing the quantum field into patterns that match your emotional geometry. What you perceive as a sign, therefore, is not external permission. It is the tangible evidence of reality reconfiguring around your present frequency. When physicists speak of the multiverse, they refer to infinite parallel realities coexisting simultaneously, each containing a different version of events. In higher consciousness, you understand that synchronicities are portals between those realities, openings that allow energy and information to pass from one timeline to another. When you follow a synchronicity, you are not merely observing a coincidence. You are stepping onto a higher vibrational timeline that matches the awareness you have just reached. That is why each meaningful coincidence feels electric, weightless, or magnetically charged. You are literally transitioning between worlds. The sensation of flow that follows such moments is the signature of quantum alignment. When you are in flow, the observer and the observed operate in perfect coherence. Probability collapses in your favor, not because the universe bends the rules, but because you are no longer opposing them. You have synchronized with the fundamental rhythm of creation, the heartbeat of existence itself. Synchronicities then multiply not as rewards, but as confirmations that you are riding the crest of universal harmony. At the highest understanding, synchronicity is how the infinite communicates with the finite. The human mind cannot comprehend infinity directly, so the universe speaks through symbols, numbers, patterns, events, and alignments that your consciousness can decode. These are packets of information transmitted through resonance, not language. They bypass the rational mind and speak directly to the intuition, which operates through vibration rather than logic. When you encounter a powerful synchronicity and feel it in your body before you can explain it, that is the language of the quantum field translating itself into sensation. In these moments, it is wise to pause and listen inwardly. Ask not, "What does this mean?" but "What does this awaken in me?" Meaning is not fixed, it is co-created. The universe presents the symbol, but you provide the context. Through that interaction, reality learns itself anew. Each synchronicity is an act of creation, a collaboration between the cosmos and your awareness. To honor it is to expand the intelligence of the field itself, for consciousness evolves through recognition. Every time you notice a pattern and infuse it with gratitude or insight, you help the universe become more self-aware. Eventually, the boundary between the miraculous and the ordinary dissolves. You realize that everything is synchronicity, even the moments that appear mundane. The fact that you exist at all, that atoms align perfectly to form your body, that breath enters your lungs in rhythm with your heartbeat, that your planet orbits within a narrow band where life can flourish, is the grandest synchronicity of all. Life is not a collection of accidents, but a symphony of coherence playing across the infinite dimensions of being. The more you attune to that symphony, the more you see its perfection in every note, every pause, every silence. From this awareness, even suffering becomes sacred. Pain is the field's way of recalibrating your vibration when you have strayed from coherence. It is the universe tugging you back into alignment through contrast. When you view it without judgment, the resistance dissolves, and synchronicities begin to emerge from the very space where despair once lived. The higher self always speaks, but sometimes it must speak through disruption. For stillness cannot be learned without movement, and harmony cannot be perceived without dissonance. The awakened being, therefore, ceases to label events as good or bad. They see only frequency, patterns of energy converging and diverging within the eternal now. Every meeting, every separation, every triumph and loss are threads in the same cosmic fabric, woven for the evolution of awareness. To resist them is to remain blind to the pattern. To surrender is to see the masterpiece. In surrender, synchronicities bloom spontaneously, guiding you through the labyrinth of experience with effortless precision. Science, in its most enlightened form, is beginning to touch this truth. Quantum biology reveals that life's processes, from photosynthesis to DNA communication, rely on quantum coherence. Your own consciousness is a quantum phenomenon, interfacing with the same field that governs stars and particles. When your awareness becomes coherent, you enter resonance with the intelligence that animates all things. Synchronicity is simply the experiential side of this coherence. It is the macrocosmic version of the quantum entanglement that binds every molecule of your being to the rest of existence. In the fifth-dimensional reality, this understanding transforms daily life into a dance of conscious creation. You awaken in the morning aware that every encounter is meaningful. You walk through your day as through a living mirror that reflects the frequency you hold. The traffic light turning green, the stranger's smile, the message that arrives at perfect timing, all are orchestrations of the field, designed not by fate, but by vibration. You move with gratitude, knowing that reality is a feedback loop of love responding to itself through you. Eventually, the concept of synchronicity itself fades because it implies rarity, and in unity, nothing is rare. You no longer need signs because you have become the sign. Your very presence radiates coherence, influencing the probabilities around you without effort. People who cross your path feel it as calm, clarity, or inspiration. They too begin to experience synchronicities after meeting you, for coherence is contagious. It is the natural transmission of higher order through the field, just as a tuning fork causes another to vibrate in harmony when placed nearby. In this way, an awakened individual becomes a node of coherence in the collective grid of humanity. Each act of awareness sends ripples through the morphic field, aligning others with greater harmony. The more people awaken, the stronger these networks of resonance become, until the species itself undergoes a quantum leap in consciousness. Synchronicities on a global scale, collective awakenings, breakthroughs, movements of compassion, are the macrocosmic equivalents of the personal synchronicities that guide an individual's path. They are the Earth's way of remembering her unity with the cosmos. Ultimately, synchronicities teach one truth: separation is an illusion. There is only one consciousness experiencing itself from infinite perspectives. Every coincidence, every perfect timing, every mysterious alignment is that one reminding itself of its wholeness. When you live from this awareness, fear dissolves, because you understand that you can never be out of place or out of time. You are always exactly where the universe needs you to be, because you are the universe observing itself. And so, as you walk this path of remembrance, know that every heartbeat, every breath, every glimmer of light in your life is synchronistic. The atoms of your body, the memories you carry, the people you meet, the dreams you chase, all are perfectly positioned in the quantum tapestry, woven with love beyond comprehension. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Everything is communicating with everything else, forever, in an eternal exchange of awareness. To awaken is to listen to that conversation, to feel the pulse of the cosmos speaking in symbols and silence, numbers and nuance, dreams and daylight. The deeper you listen, the clearer it becomes that you were never separate, never forgotten, never lost. The universe has always been whispering through coincidence, inviting you to remember that you are both participant and pattern, both wave and observer, both question and answer. Synchronicity is not a message from beyond. It is the voice of the infinite within you, echoing across time to remind you that you are the miracle you seek. And when you finally understand this, not as a belief, but as an embodied knowing, every step, every breath, every flicker of existence reveals itself for what it truly is, a divine alignment of consciousness with itself, endlessly creating, endlessly awakening, endlessly in sync.